well and they're not going quite as stir crazy. This, I actually do feel a bit like I have no idea what day it is now, and I have lost all idea of what day, who I am, and etc. I'll just let you know, I have somehow, or I do know how, I have acquired golfer's elbow over the weekend. So it was bad on Saturday morning, but it got progressively worse over the weekend. And I'm doing what I say never to do, is yoga on painkillers. Don't do that, because you can't feel what you're doing. But it's so I can move my arm. So there'll be several poses that my arm kind of can lift to about there before it hurts. But, you know, do what I do on the other arm, but if you know what I mean. Let's start sitting down with our legs crossed in front of you, and you can have your legs as wide out as is comfortable for you. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll take a deep breath down to the base of the spine and exhale slowly. And we'll rotate the palms and bring them through the midline. Rotate. Roll your shoulders. And back the other way. We'll take our head down to one side. And you're walking that other arm away, the opposite arm away. And then come to the other side. Walking the arm away. We'll come back to center, interlace the fingers, just place your hands lightly on the back of your head, bring your chin down towards your chest. Bring yourself up to seated. Let's turn and rotate to one side. Hold the opposite hand to knee. And then rotate to the other side. Coming back to center, cross your legs the other way. And we'll rotate to face our knee and come down, rounding nose towards knee. Keep breathing as you move. And then come up seated, rotate, and come to the other side. You're rotating down, nose towards knee. Come up to center. Wash your legs the other way. Hinge from your hips, bring your hands in front of you. Crown of the head's coming away, so your chin is slightly tucked into a seated forward fold. Breathe. Coming up to seated, we're going to take the legs out wide. Now they can be as wide as is comfortable for you. And just keep them where they are. You can support yourself either with your hands in front or behind you. And sit up nice and tall. You're going to point your toes and flex your feet. So point your toes, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point. Keep pointing and flexing. And then we'll bring ourselves back into the center with our feet. You're going to lift up one leg and then place it down, lift up the other leg and place it down. Belinda, you might find this a bit tricky, so do what you can. I'm not sure if this will affect your hip or not, but see what you can do. So just keep going up and down. And then we're going to make it a little bit more challenging. So you're going to lift up the leg and you're going to circle it round. Circle it round one way and then circle the other. And then we'll come to the other side. So we're going to circle our leg round. And then circle the other way. And then take the legs out wide again. Hands in front, hinging from your hips, and we're tucking the chin and rounding the back. Take a deep breath here. Bring yourself slowly to seated and taking the legs into a crossed position. Arm is coming up and over into side bend. Become a little bit deeper. And then you're going to roll towards the knee and extend a little bit more. Take a deep breath here. And back to center. Come to the other side. Keep breathing through the nose. You're going to come a little bit deeper. And then round down towards the knee and extend the arms so you're stretching through the whole of the side waist. And then come back to center. Just let the shoulders roll again. And round the other way. Rotate the arms out wide and wrap. Make sure you remember which one goes on top first. You're wrapping and you're walking your fingers to try and find your shoulder blades, and then bring the elbows up and the rib cage backwards. Deep breath here and exhale slowly. I take the arms out wide and then wrap again. Find your shoulder blade, bring the elbows up and the rib cage back and breathe. I take the arms out beside us and roll the shoulders. Come on to hands and knees. And we'll rock backwards and forward. So to warm today, we'll do a kneeling sun salutation. We'll start back on our knees like so. But if this is too much, you can start and finish your sun salutation up high, so you don't have to keep bending your knees down. This might be suitable for Belinda. I don't know anyone else has got a knee injury. I can't remember now. So starting here, if you feel comfortable. If it really hurts, then stay up here like this. Okay. You're going to rotate the palms as we come up and forward into a puppy pose. Slide those hands all the way forward, forehead towards the mat. Take a breath, come up onto hands and knees and into cat-cow, rounding the back and then dipping and extending into cow. We'll do a few of these. Arch into cat and extend into cow. We'll tuck the toes here and lift up into down face dog, walking through the heels. Come back onto hands and knees and into cat-cow, arching and extending. Come back into child pose or puppy pose if this is too deep. And then rotate the palms and come all the way back to center and back onto the heels. Let's go again. Rotate the palms. Come forward into puppy pose. Keep the hips high. Take a breath and come onto hands and knees and into cat-cow. We'll tuck the toes and lift into down face dog, walking through the heels. Back onto hands and knees and into cat-cow. And then back down onto child pose or puppy pose if you can't come this low. And we'll rotate the palms and back to center. Let's come back onto hands and knees. You're going to bring your hip, make a figure of 8 with your hip, so you're drawing an 8 with your knee. And back the other way. And then come to the other side. Just move that hip around. And back the other side. Come on to hands and knees and extend the arms out into puppy pose, and we'll stay here. Come on to hands and knees one more time, and this time we're going to take opposite arm and leg out and extend. Now if this is too much, you can just do it with the legs. Try to keep your hips even so that you're not stacking like so. So your hips are even. You can take your arm up by your ear. If that's too much, remember you can always take the hands to the mat. So we're going to extend opposite arm and leg. Breathe. We'll take them down to the far corners of our mat. So we're touching the tips of our fingers and tips of the toes onto the mat. We're going to stay here. Breathe. And then we're going to draw them in. To do that again, take to the other side, opposite arm and leg, lifting up. Remember, you can do just the leg if that's better for you. Breathe. We're going to lower the arm and leg so the tips of our fingers and tips of the toes are just onto the mat. You really feel the belly have to pull up here. Breathe and slide slowly back in. Let's come to the other side. Taking opposite arm and leg up. We're going to take those fingertips and toes to the mat, just gently lightly onto the floor and draw it back in. Last one to the other side, lifting up opposite arm and leg. Breathe. Taking those fingertips and toes to the mat, and then we'll draw back in. Come back and rest in child pose or puppy pose and just rest for a moment. Back up onto hands and knees, and we'll take the left leg through the center of our hands, coming up onto the knee and then lifting into crescent moon. Breathe here. We'll take the arm across the knee and rotate to the back. Coming back to the center and lifting up into crescent moon. Hands come back down to the mat. You're tucking the back toe and lifting into a lunge. Let's bring that leg in and swap to the other side. Take the knee to the mat, coming up onto your knee, lifting into crescent moon. Breathe. We'll take the arm opposite over the knee and rotate to the back. Coming back to the center, lifting into crescent moon. Take your hands to the mat, tuck the back toe and into a lunge. Stay here for a moment. We're going to step in to a fold. And then slowly, slowly, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Right. Okay. It's very funny angle. Okay, standing on your mat, taking the feet out wide and the arms out wide. I'm going to come one side and move to the other side. If it's too much to have your arms out, you're going to take your hands to your hips. Just get those knees moving. Coming to a wide leg stance, take the hands to the hips. You're hinging from the hips, we're going to come forward and just rest your hands to your thighs. And then lifting all the way up. Turn the toes in now, take the heels wide, we're going to hinge from your hips, you're going to come a little bit deeper. Breathe, and we'll lift slowly up. Come heel toe to the center. Crossing your legs over, and so your little toes are now meeting. You're taking yourself into side bend. So try to squeeze your thighs together, coming over into a side bend. And coming back to center, and we'll swap to the other side. So taking the little toes together, come into a side bend. Back into centre. Let's come to the tops of our mats. And I step back on the right into a warrior one. Into your warrior one, you're lifting up, straight leg, sun warrior. Both arms are above your head, come back down again into warrior one. We'll lift up, straight leg, arms above, and then come back into warrior one. And lift up again. And then arms into warrior one. Take the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Take the heel off the mat and you're going to come forward into a loaded lunge. You can always rest your knee to the mat if you want on this one. We're slowly going to come up. Take the heel to the mat. Bring the arms forward into warrior one. And then step in and to the other side. Arms out. Warrior one. Straighten the front leg, take the arms above the head. Come back to warrior one. That front knee's bent, arms at shoulder height. Lifting up. Straight leg, arms above, and come back to warrior one. We'll do a few more of those, extend, come back into warrior one, extend, back into warrior one, taking the arms behind you, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades. Take the back heel off the mat, there, and come forward into a loaded lunge. Breathe. Taking the arms through, back heel comes to the mat, warrior one. Let's step into the top of the mat. Hinge from the hips, bending the knees into a forward fold. And then slowly roll all the way up and come to standing. Coming to your mat, you can come on and off and you might need a chair or a wall to hold onto as we come into balance. Your leg can be as high up or anywhere down your leg or even with your toe touching the mat. So be where you're comfortable up your leg. We're going to take the palms to heart center and focus on somewhere in the middle distance. Don't worry if you feel unbalanced. You can come in and out of the pose as much as you need to. Think about trying to squeeze the foot and your leg together so you feel like you're extending up from the ground through the crown of your head. We're going to slowly move the hands up. And then open the palm to the bent knee. Taking the hands back. Remember, you can always have that toe touching the floor, so you're like this. Coming back down again to the center. And we'll swap to the other side. So bring that leg anywhere up where it's comfortable. Here, or here today. So we're trying to push the knee against, or the leg against the foot against the leg, so standing up nice and tall. You're going to take the hands up. Pull in through that belly, open the palms out. Taking the hand down towards the bent knee and into a side bend. Coming back to center. And we'll take foot to the floor. Just give everything a little bit of a shake. And take the legs out wide. Your heels are coming out, your toes are coming in. You're hinging again and trying to get down towards the floor. Now, if you haven't got your hands to the floor and you either need to bend your knees or you feel like your back is taking it, then you can do this by the sofa so that you're holding onto the sofa, either resting on the back of the sofa or the side of the sofa, or you can hold onto a chair if that's easier for you. Taking yourself to a forward fold with wide legs. We'll take the hand to the mat. We're going to rotate. This time we're dropping this hip. So we're rotating the whole of the body, looking towards the ceiling. Keep breathing, taking the hands down to the mat. Let's come to the other side. Rotating the whole of the body. So you're twisting and rotating the whole body. And then come down to the mat. Hinge from the hips, just come a little bit deeper. And breathe. And then come back into that flat back wide leg. So this time, instead of the whole body twisting, so you'll feel like your hips rotating down, should move down, I should say. You're trying to just rotate the top of the body. So you're keeping your hips as straight as you can so that they are fixed, and you're just twisting the top of the body. And then come back down to the mat. So we're going to come to the other side. You're rotating, keeping the hips as even as possible, just so you're removing that rib cage. Breathe. And then come down to the mat. Heel toe in. And come down into a squat or a high squat. Elbows to the inside of the knees. And breathe. Let's come to a seated position and extend the legs out in front. Bend the knees so your chest is coming to your thighs, rounding the head so your nose is towards knees. You can hold on to your feet if you wish into a forward fold. I'm going to just gently nod the head. And then slowly bring yourself up to seated, taking your right leg into the groin, or your left, it depends whichever one you want. So sit up nice and tall. This time we're going to take that leg over and cross it as if we're sitting in a cross-leg position. So our ankle is by our hip, our foot is on the side. Just sit up tall. So you can hold on to your knee and that will help you sit up tall. Hinging from your hips coming forward, you're taking your nose and rounding it towards your knee. Keep breathing and then bring yourself up. Take that leg to the side. Sit up nice and tall again. This time you're taking that leg behind you. So you're going to take that leg behind you. We're into a seated hero pose or seated one-legged hero pose. You're now going to rotate down towards your knee again. So you're rotating from the hip and your nose towards knee. And then slowly come up to seated. Bring that leg round and we'll come to the other side. Taking the knee up first. Let's sit up nice and tall. We'll take the leg across the extended leg. So our foot's coming onto the side and then we're rounding nose towards knee. Coming up to seated, taking that top leg and bringing it out to the side. Sit up tall again. And then take the leg behind you. So you're sitting in a seated hero pose, one legged hero, and then we're rounding nose towards knee. Even if you've just moved a little bit, don't worry about how deep you're coming into poses. It just should feel like there is a gentle stretch across the back of your leg, maybe in your calf. You shouldn't really have any pain anywhere. So if there is a pain in your knee, you're just going to bend your knee. This actually will get you to go a little bit deeper. Coming up to seated. We'll bring that back leg in and we'll swivel round to a seated position. Coming down onto your back. So you're going to roll down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. We'll gently rock from side to side. Take the soles of the feet to the mat and take the arms beside you. You're going to squeeze the butt and lift up into a half bridge. And then we'll lower down just so that we're about a centimetre or so off the floor. You don't want to touch the floor, you're just lowering down, hovering off the floor. And then we'll squeeze up again into half bridge. We'll come down again, so we're hovering off the floor. Keep yourself on about a centimetre off the mat and then lift up again. Come back down again. And then rest your bum to the mat and gently rock the knees from side to side. If you glue your knees together and your ankles and then gently rock from side to side. Come up again into your half bridge. Taking the arms beside you. And then we're going to move a leg a little bit further away from you on the mat. So you're standing into one side. You're taking that opposite leg towards the end of the mat. And then you're going to bring it back and lift into your half bridge. So you're going to alternate. Take the opposite leg away. So you're taking the toes to the end of the mat. And then bring that foot back and lift into your half bridge. We'll do that again, taking the opposite leg away. Bring your foot back, lifting high. Take the opposite leg to the end of the mat. Bring that foot in and then lift up high. Take yourself down to your mat and hug your knees into your chest. Gently rock from side to side. Soles of the feet come to the mat again. This time you're going to take your ankle, right ankle, over your knee. And your knee and ankle are going to stay together. This knee is going to let yourself fall out to the side. Arms at shoulder height. And we're rotating down towards the mat. So our foot is coming down towards the mat. Keep the knee up towards the ceiling. And try not to move that ankle and knee so that it's not collapsing. So you don't want to have it collapsing like so. You want your knee to stand up towards the ceiling. You're going to lift up and we'll come to the other side. So swap to the other side. The ankle comes across the knee. It's as if you're gluing the ankle and knee together. And then you're rotating down towards the mat. So your foot is flat to the mat. Knees to the ceiling. We're going to lift back to the center. Take the soles of the feet to the mat and come to the other side again. Taking the ankle across the knee. This time we're going to interlace the fingers through the thigh into a reclined. Hold on to anything along the leg. So even if you're just tugging your trousers towards you, you should just feel a gentle stretch into your right bum cheek. Take that sole to the floor again. Take the arms at shoulder height and then rotate down towards the mat. So we're now rotation again with our knee towards the ceiling. Coming back to center. And we'll swap to the other side. Take the ankle across the knee. Interlace your fingers around the thigh and come into your reclined pigeon. Remember, if you can't do that, you just hold on to your trousers and pull backwards if you can. We'll stay here for a moment. Take the sole of the foot back to the mat. Take the arms at shoulder height and then rotate that foot down towards the knee, down towards the floor, sorry, again. And stay in your rotation. That knee is coming towards the ceiling, so you'll keep the knee up high. Coming back to center, take the soles of the feet to the mat. Let the knees fall out into reclined cobbler. Palms are facing up beside you. Just allow yourself to breathe through your nose here. Relaxing your face and jaw and carry on breathing through the nose. Slowly bring the knees together. Hug the knees into the chest, and we're going to rock backwards and forwards. Then come up to seated. Okay, so bending your knees like so, you're going to take the fingers to just behind the butt, and then we're taking ourselves down onto our elbows like so. You're going to lift through the rib cage and just tilt the chin slightly into a modified fish. Breathe. And then tucking the chin and slowly pushing yourself up, rounding, tucking the chin and falling over your knees. We'll take ourselves back again. Fingertips behind the butt, come down onto the elbows. Lifting the chest up and tilting the chin. And then tilting the chin back towards the chest and pushing yourself up. Hinge yourself forward, slump over your knees again. And we'll come back to our seated position. We're comfortable cross-legged position. I'm going to rotate to one side. Take a breath. Back arm is coming up and over into side bend. Come a little bit deeper, walking the fingers away. Coming back up, swapping to the other side. Opposite hand to knee, we're rotating. Don't forget to breathe. Taking that back arm up and over into side bend, walking those fingers away. Coming back to center, and then hinge from the hips, walk the fingers all the way out in front, and then round, chin towards chest. And we're going to stay here for a moment. Slowly coming up to seated. Take your legs out wide. You might be able to get them a little bit wider than you first did. Don't worry if that's not true. Taking the hips forward and walking the fingers into a wide forward fold, tucking the chin to the chest. And then bring yourself slowly up to seated. Soles of the feet come together. Holding on to just above the ankles so the elbows come onto the inside of the knees. Hinging from the hips again, rounding your back and tucking your chin into a bound cobbler. And then rising back up again. I'm going to swivel round, rolling down onto your mat. Hug the knees into your chest. Stacking the knees over the hips, arms at shoulder height. Rotating the knees down to one side. Let the knees drop and the ankles drop. You're going to lift up and over to the other side. And then bring your knees back to centre and gently rock the knees from side to side, and then put on something warm, grab a blanket to come into our relaxation. If you wish. It's completely up to you. So when you're lying on the floor, have your palms facing up beside you. Closing the eyes and resting down. So if you came to the meditation / pranayama on Sunday, then this is the time when you can practice your different breathing techniques. Perhaps you do the 4-4 breath, perhaps you just try elongating your exhalation, whichever you choose to do. And that's always best to start that at the beginning of your relaxation, just so that you're focusing on something to try to get yourself settled. It's just allowing your nose to do the breathing for you, in and out through the nose. And we're just trying to slow that breath down. The exhalation is going to take longer than the inhalation. Taking a deep breath and then slowly exhaling. And return to a natural rhythm of breath. That's an autonomous rhythm of breath. You're allowing yourself to breathe and let the body breathe for you, so that you are not placing any input to this. It's purely autonomous. Relaxing the shoulders and being very conscious of how you feel right now. So noticing the floor beneath you, noticing the fabric on your skin, noticing your body, what it feels like right now. Perhaps it feels tense, perhaps you feel quite relaxed, perhaps you just feel gentle movement, maybe in your fingertips or your toes. And you're just being aware of this and noticing what you can feel. Continue breathing through your nose. I want you to think about a circle that is around your body, kind of a force field, a bit like your 2-meter rule of how far you can stay away from someone. So think of that as a ring around your body. Think of it as a protective ring that is circling the whole of your body. And inside of that ring where you are lying is your safe space. A space where nothing can get to you, nobody can reach you. That space is entirely for you and nobody else. Within that circle, you are at ease. There are no thoughts of anybody else, just entirely yourself. Within that circle, it is time for you, space you need to relax, space you need to let go of anything that is bothering you. With that circle, you can start to place things outside of the circle. Place things outside of the circle that you don't need. Things that do not serve you, things that you do not require right now. Maybe those negative thoughts, maybe chores. Perhaps things you need to do or haven't done. Place them outside of the circle. They are not needed for now. And inside of the circle where you are lying, you're placing things that you do need. You're placing love and care and attention for yourself, and that's being placed inside the circle. The time that you need right now, that's inside of the circle. So that time and love and care for you is inside the circle, and your body is able to absorb it and take in all of that love and care and attention that you have placed inside of the circle. And you can feel your body bathing in this love and care and attention. And it becomes renewed and refreshed. It's as if you are recharging your batteries from this love and care and attention and time that you are giving yourself. And the longer that you lie here within that circle, the more recharged you feel, the more renewed you feel. And you're just noticing your breath. Hopefully it's even and steady. And as you absorb all this love and care and attention, your breath becomes more even and steadier. And you're starting to tap into that sensation of breath as it moves in and out of your body. Eyes are softly closed. Your jaw is released and relaxed. You can feel the floor beneath you. And you're safe in the knowledge that you're within this circle, the circle that keeps you safe, secure, surrounds you with love and care. Now bring your attention back into the room. Don't think about removing your circle just yet. Think about taking deep breaths and taking in just every last ounce of love and care that is within that circle, so that you can breathe it all in to your body, so you feel totally recharged. Exhaling really deeply, inhaling as deep as you can, taking in that last ounce of love and care of attention, so you feel totally renewed. Exhaling deeply, and then bring yourself slowly up when you're ready. Coming to one side, slowly bring yourself to seated. And sit up nice and tall, taking the hands to the knees, sitting up tall. Fingers can be in Jnana Mudra with 4 fingers and thumb touching. As you inhale, take the breath down to the base of the spine. Exhale to the skull. One more time, take the breath down to the spine and back up to the skull. Rotate the palms to heart center. Namaste.